years to find the answer to something I forgot about it in 2 seconds. That's about it. It took me 10 years to find the answer to something I forgot about it in 2 seconds. I don't have anything that's really important to me. That's why everything is beautiful. Can you hear it? The pulses of the living. The ironic rhythm is a grand orchestra. It's never the same tone. Who wants to stop this? There can be. When the violent storm is over, blue sky is a more beautiful than ever. You see, I want that, I want that, that's all I want. I dream to ride the waves. I'll just be a black sea.
Hello everybody, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we are going to be working on, well, democracy occurred. As we all know, democracy did occur. And as with most things with Notocracy, God is dead and we are not allowed to have nice things. So, as a little bit of a catch up on the whole democracy angle, the games that won was the the Notecromancer's Guide to Dolls, if I can actually fucking pronounce it correctly, Kwangshu, as well as Satan War Snakeskin, literally a telenovela RPG. Why did Satan wear? Why did it win? I don't know, but one of the plutocrats voted for it, and remember, everybody, your vote means nothing as long as you don't pay me money. There we go. There we are. But those were the three that won. These are the three that kind of seized power. Most notably, Notecromancer's got 15 votes, Kwangja got 12, and Snakeskin also got 12. So these are kind of the three that managed to succeed. Democracy did occur. Yes, it did, Manly. Originally, like, my original thoughts of, like, who was gonna win, Utopia Wars here was, like, this was in first place for a while, competing with Kwangja. I'm like, these two are gonna be the ones that are gonna win it. Like, Notecromancer's got, like, 10 votes near the end there. Like, the second to last day. And literally all because 3 people in a plutocrat voted for Snakeskin. It won. It was above Kwangja for a while there. Aces didn't really do much. That did actually very poorly. Chunbara Grindhouse also did not do very well. I think the only game that did not, like... I think the underperformer that kind of surprised me was Utopia Wars here. It only scored 8 votes in total. I'm still a stern believer in Notocracy. Yes, Notocracy is a functional system. And don't worry, we're going to be fixing Notocracy next time. We're going to be making it even better. Don't worry, everybody. Wink, I can make it better. I am the president. I can rewrite the Constitution whenever I feel like. It's great. But with that with this kind of in motion, we have to now decide what to do next. And that also reminds me, I need to take all of this, go boop. Yeah, Helljumpers is done, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. Actually, what I can do is we can rename this section to make my life easier. Notecromancer's Guide to Dolls. If you can't remember, Notecromancer is not a real word. So, here are all our options. Let's just put this here, and actually you can do this. Let me see if I can do it correctly. You can, there we are. Mira, please sponsor me. Please, I'm begging you. So, this is the Necronica game. Yeah, for those who don't know what Necronica is a game about being abominations of God. So, as abominations of anime God, so as abominations of anime God, you are well, here let me just bring up Necronica here. What's the first image that pops up for Necronica? Yes. Here, this is a good example of it. This is Necronica, as you can see here. Actually, here's the cover. As you can see, Necronica is a good old-fashioned family-friendly game for the whole family about well, It's about people who are undead, very undead, and also mutant abominations of God, and also cyborg monsters. You are also children. You are also children. Remember that, everybody. It's a thing that it's impossible to really. And they are female children. Yes, because that's Ryu Kamiya being weird. I'm gonna leave this here as I kind of do a little bit of a basic description real fast of Notocratic for those who don't know. I like Notocratic. I think Notocratic is a really damn good game. And I think their Notocratic is a really damn good game because it does kind of the big three, which I always look for in games. It's mechanically sound. The mechanics of Notocratic are actually really damn good. Very tight, very punchy. The theme is on point. The theme is pretty much, it's the loss of innocence, and we have to relearn who ourselves are. And it's the idea of using, we're fighting against, what are we doing today, Draco? I'm going to be going over some of the games that won Democracy, and kind of getting pre notes for them, just to make sure they all work. So right now I'm just going over the one that won, which is Notocratic. So, you have this very key theme going on. It's the loss of innocence, and that kind of brings me to my third one, which is the characters work for Notocratic. What is the most innocent? What is one of the most innocent things you can think of, which is a child? Oh no, this child is now actually an undead abomination. Oh no, and your brain goes two directions. Your brain goes protect child because that's human, and your brain is also repulsed by it because, oh no, that is a child who is currently getting her head smashed in. But don't worry, it's perfectly fine. We can fix her. So it does that really well. It kind of combines all the bits together to form a very good game. However, here's the big thing with Notocratic. And all of the Notocratic fans, I love all of you. I think you're all great. Sometimes y'all are kind of fucking annoying. The big thing with Notocratic is that it is sometimes difficult to pitch to people. Because this is just me Googling Notocratic. This is like the second image on here. This is the third image. That girl has her spinal column exposed. And she is dead. There's gore everywhere, and then oh, what's going down here? Oh, here's this, and here's a little girl with her intestines, getting ripped out and shit like that. It does not help. Ryu Kamiya. Let me re-emphasize this. I've gone over this a few times. Ryu Kamiya, the actual writer for this game, is a fucking weirdo. Kamiya does have his quirks. It feels like part of a gore body horror. Yeah, it is a body horror game. At its core, it is a body horror game. And it's using the idea of, here's an innocent thing. What if we, make it a horrifying abomination? And people get really turned off by it. How would you fix it, our benevolent eternally wise? I'm not going to be fixing it, really. I'm going to be adding on some shit, but not really fixing anything. Because the game works. The game's good. I like the game. However, I'm going to do two things to it. I'm going to present more options for people who want to play it with other people who are immediately going to be turned off by them Googling it and being like, hey, bro, this game you have, this game that you presented with us, why is there a half-naked child on the front of the cover being like, I can explain, it's part of the thematic reasoning. Can't really do that very easily. Ryu is a fucking weirdo, but he's a good weirdo. He knows his shit, and he knows why he's doing it. It also doesn't help, Control F child, then delete. You also have this kind of idea of patching things up in some degree. Now, you make a point of being like, oh, make it about adults, make it about robots. one of the complicated parts, he is self-aware. To a degree, he is self-aware. Sometimes he's not really that self-aware. He's the guy who made the Maid RPG as well. Like, he definitely knows what he's doing. The thing with Necronica, and one of the hard things about this game is what I'm going to have to do, is I need to keep that core thematic concept. The loss of innocence. And mostly when it comes to the idea of pure innocence. Adults have the issue of having experience, having, maybe they're not innocent, maybe they're not good people, maybe they're adults. We immediately our brain kind of clicks on when you see a grown man do something terrible. It's like, okay, that's just a grown man doing something terrible. Our brain clicks a very different direction when we see a tiny child do something terrible, or like a tiny child getting mutilated. Our brain clicks differently. And what I need to do is I need to make sure that those other options, there's gonna be a section called alternate dolls. Like, let me see. So my alternate doll section here is, I'm going to need to put things in here that also play into the concept of, if I put this, which is the, quote, loss of innocence, plus, quote, gap moe. For those who don't know what gap moe is, gap moe is a term used for things that are, hello phone, thing that is cute that should not be cute. And usually there's like this a big gap, like, quote, the gap moe. It's gap cute, like something isn't quite right. A popular franchise is like, this is Made in Abyss. What is Made in Abyss about? It's about going down a giant tunnel. These are what the characters look like. Oh, wow, look, it's so adorable. This is a game about people getting fucking mutilated and, like, undergoing horrific trials. And it's the suffering. But the entire idea is we're using these younger characters undergoing these severe trauma-inducing situations that say, like, this is fucking weird, this is scary, they aren't qualified to be here, they're here because something is wrong. And how do you do that? Adults is a little bit easier. This is the dolls are like those porcelain dolls, or are we seeing flesh puppets? Yes. See, the weird thing with dolls, because if you go with like if we go Necronica dolls, like, oh wow, look, it's dolls. Because you can get some dolls which are like, oh, you're a psychic abomination, like you are literally something, you are a psychic anomaly forced into the flesh of a little girl, or hey, you're just this heavily augmented, super soldier effectively, or you're like a literal mutant that is just unable to die properly, or I have a chainsaw for a hand or something. Like, you are very meaty and you will die and you're undead. But you can also say, hey, what is the one I can see it, not a Romanesque, with POV shopping for a real doll with your schizo friend. Like, Olivia, it's the idea of a loss of innocence, Ajax. That's the idea. It's like, these shouldn't be here. Also, thank you, I'm gonna say thank you, Tack, for showing up. For following. I should actually update the numbers here real fast. But because of that, because of you have the like big gap of themes and ideas, things with Necronica get very odd very quickly. So I need to emphasize the loss of innocence and the thing that is cute that is not cute currently. I know I did make an oath to one of the members of the Merchants Guild that it would be literally, quote, flesh abominations. Just not necessarily you are children, just you are a literal pile of flesh and mutated organs and cybernetics slapped together and told to get going. Like, okay, how do you operate? Like, I debated on things like, let's just make robots. But, like, robots, it's hard to be like, oh, you're innocent now. Like, not really. Unless you're like, hey, I'm a robot because I have the mind of a child and, you know, literally embedded in me in my cold, dead circuitry. So, like, kind of getting this theme is going to be the hard part. And giving those options. Like, a few of the other options were things like animals. I know there's actually one big replay. For those who don't know, replays in Japan are actually very big, and they are pretty much like, you could call them like books almost of people's sessions. And one was a bonobos? Man only knows what I'm talking about. But they are animals who are like these ape animals who are in the same situation. You know, Engine Heart is a very good idea there, you know, Draco. The hard part with that is Engine Heart has a very specific set of situations, which is like, you're still here, like, you know, all the normal trappings of civilization are here, and it's like, how does your toaster survive? While this one is like, you're in the post apocalypse. There hasn't been a living human being in like a century minimum. And like just the fact of like how things are just gone. Things change a little bit. And I still need to be able to slap mutations and things like that because I don't want to restrict the options. Because this is just a expansion of what's there. Expansions of what's present rather than a full like, let's overhaul the entire thing. Because that'll be a task unto itself. Like, that is a nightmare. So, one of the other big things, like, here's like the big goal right here, is expanding the game outward. Like, additions to the base, and so I want to do some more. This is going to be kind of, where is it? Where did I put it? Yeah, actually, additions to the base, expanding the game outward. I was going to put in some more combat stuff, because if I open up the main book, like, the combat in Notocratic is the main part of Notocratic. If someone tells me, you don't need to do combat, well, yeah, you don't need to do combat in things like D and fucking D. However, that's what 99% of the game is built around. So, I'll put this right over here just for my own sanity. So, it also doesn't help that this is the document when it comes to the game. Like, it is a very simplistic game in some aspects, and this is what a majority of this is what a standard character is going to look like. The fact that you have brains, eyes, your jaw, your reflexes, and like, here's what your reflexes do. Here's like what all these different, you know, objects, a part of your body will do. And like, here's all of your like the fact that you have a meat cleaver in your hand is a part, quote unquote. The fact that your arms do something, the fact your shoulders are useful. Like, if you get your shoulder ripped off, your arm's gone. Whatever you held in your arm's gone. You're not dead. You're just losing a shit ton of options. But again, everything is also represented on your character. This game is very literal at some points. And it doesn't give a fuck anything else. Which kind of brings me to, if I go see Ajax. Which kind of brings me to, where is this? This aspect right here. Which is the expanded adventure phase. Now, the current adventure phase, the actual, like, current phase of non-combat in Notocratic. Let me bring up the non-combat aspect of Notocratic. Okay, that's not it. Session flow. Okay. Okay, this is it. Ta-da! Here's the adventure phase. This is literally the entirety of the adventure phase. And there isn't anything really. At the end of the day, what you do, if for a vast majority of adventure phase things, is you take a d10 and you roll the d10. You roll a 5 or higher, you succeed. If you roll 4 or less, you fail. That's it. Congratulations, I have taught you how to play the adventure phase of Notocratic. But Notepad, is there anything else for this? No, not really. So, like, one of the big things is, you know, the idea is you just have to roll 5 or higher. Actually, it's 6 or higher. I always forget that. I want someone to say 5 or higher, but it's 6 or higher. You can also, during adventure phase stuff, gamble a part. If you gamble a part, you roll pretty much a second d10. You roll, hey, you succeed. Cool. If you fail, your arm might get ripped off or something. Like something might go wrong. You know, secretly not noticing something, land safely when jumping from a high place. You know, you have to roll up to 3 bonus dice. Skills cannot be used. Ta-da! Like, this is... If you, like, for example, if you jump from a high place and you want to land safely and you only have, you know, good legs, you might roll 2d10. You roll 2d10, you're like, oh, I got an 8, I succeeded. However, if you roll, let's say, 1s or you fail, your legs might shatter on impact. Ta-da! That's it. That is, what the game is when it comes to the adventure phase. If you think the game is anything more than the adventure phase, like the adventure phase actually has anything else going for it, it really doesn't. It's not supposed to have that, which is one of the reasons I'm going to expand it out a little bit. Now, one big thing I do plan on adding is I'm going to call them skills here, even though skills are already used in the game. But these skills are going to be, you know, things that you know or things you can do. Like, oh, I'm going to make in quotes, you know, it's things like an athletics check, a knowledge check, things like that. Like we would call a standard set of skills. However, the gimmick I was going to use here is fairly simple, and that kind of gimmick is going to be, you're going to have kind of innate skills, the innate skills / learned skills, with the idea being that each part surgically attached to your body might have a skill attached to it, might have something about it that you remember from it. Hey, for some reason, I have this weird knowledge of how to drive a car. I might be in the body of a 12-year-old girl, however, my brain, a third of my brain is technically scavenged from an old person, or who knows how to drive really well, or something like that, and you won't be able to know this. Innate skills are going to be things that happen like once a session. You get a little bonus to this. You get a little bit of a little bonus here. Learned skills are going to be permanent, with the idea being that you're always going to be on the quest to acquire memories, and on those quests to find memories, which is, again, already kind of the central point of the game, you're going to be acquiring additional skills. You're also just going to be able to learn new things, because you're learning. You're in this place that you don't understand. You want to get more things. You want to become better than the sum of your parts, which is important. I think adding like a bigger adventure system would be kind of interesting. I think that would be something that, I'm not going to say it's necessary, but I think it would be fun, and that's all that matters, is that I think it's fun. For combat-wise, my idea mostly comes from, actually what I should say is expanding and also, quote, changing the battlefield, the combat field. Because Notocratic has a very unique system when it comes to the battle map. Now, the battle map here is this. Instead of a grid or something, you place yourselves on these, which an enemy might be in Tartarus, Hades, and you might be in Eden, Asylum, or Limbo, and then you go at each other with the idea that you're constantly losing and regaining action points to determine your initiative order. You get your arm ripped off, you're going to go slower, or you get your legs ripped off, you're going to go slower all of a sudden. So you're going to, you have less things to do, but you also have more options, or less options. And you're going to be kind of moving around this particular thing, just going up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's what combat is. Maybe putting it on a grid would be interesting. Let's see if I can put it on a grid. Or like, hey, what if you don't want to do that? Maybe that's not your jam. Maybe we can do, my two ideas I had was going to be more, quote, a theater of the mind version. Theater of the mind, as well as a strict, I would say more of a dedicated grid system. Dedicated grid system, because it's more options. And honestly, this is what all this is going to be. This is just going to be options. If you want to put it on a grid, like if this isn't doing it for you, if this is not rocking your world right here, here's some more options. That's all this is going to be. More options. Let's see. Which is also going to be kind of like here. Let me just put this here a little bit. For options, I'm going to also put in some more. I'm going to put in two things when it comes to parts. I'm going to make in a few sample parts, because that's like the main thing when it comes to Necrotica homebrew is adding parts. You want to add more parts. You want to slap more things on you. Now, like the base game has quite a bit of parts already kind of included. You can kind of see like a lot of these parts are pretty common. Like there's a lot here, and there's also quite a few, let's see, we do Fanworks. There's quite a bit of fan-made classes. There's quite a bit of fan resources. Oh, hey, you want to look? Here's the Jester class. You want to play the Jester class? Here's a bunch of skills for it. Here's a bunch of powers and shit for it. Or hey, you want to do here's like the entire thing for like a completely new class. More classes, more options for fan stuff. The goal. Fan-made battle map. Oh god, that's painful to look at. Oh lord. Oh lord. Aesthetically Fancy Edition. Yeah, like this is what a majority of like you have parts, abilities, and things like that. So like the main thing here is that I want to not only include like a few of my own parts, so like just a few fun parts. The big thing we're going to be doing, the thing that's going to take up the most amount of time in this project, is that I need to, and probably what we're going to be doing on Friday, is what we need to do is I need to go through every single part, every single option, every single attribute, and put them in a list. And that list is going to be me going over them to successfully get an idea. Actually, I should do something like to get an idea, to have people be able to make their own parts a lot easier. Because like, here's just going to be a bunch of numbers, and it's going to be like, according to this, this, and this should cost this much, this should cost this much, based on these, kind of parameters. This is what it's going to roughly look like. This is what's going to roughly look like. That is what this is going to be at the end of the day. This is going to be a very technical document in some cases, which is just going to be me crunching numbers and me trying to figure out it costs X to do Y, so how do you make A equal B and A equal Y? It's shit like that. let's see. But already the some hardcore Necronica fans already do not like this game. Do not like my ideas. So all I gotta say to that is fuck them. Fuck them is my question, because I can do what the fuck I feel like, because I am an amoral sociopath. Actually, and they already threatened to sue me once, so may as well do whatever the fuck I feel like. And I made an oath on my good name, on my in the name of Allah. I did make an oath that that I would give a merchant his, flesh monster guide. So god damn it, I'm going to give him his flesh monster guide. So our other game that won, what I should do is condemn Utopia Wars here. Hello, Utopia Wars. You didn't win, so you get to go to what we like to call the sadness place. You get to go over there. Ta-da! Let's see. We got our Weekend Warriors, our note expansions. Put you like right there. As you can see, my notes here are a little bit more disgusting than usual, and they are usually pretty awful. So let's just put that right there. Let me just lock you, and let me lock you. Oh Jesus, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this disgusting set of notes? Okay. So we're going to put this right there. Now, you also may be wondering, why do I put it in, like, these template boxes? I put these in these template boxes for my own sanity. I do this because I think it looks nice. So, let me see if I can, Kwangsha, which is, roughly translates to gun hero. Because Jia, like Shia right here, or Shu, this literally means hero. And technically, this should have the, I believe this has an over A, which is, so it's more like Shong. That means gun. It's just gun hero, because I think it's funny. That's literally the only reason. So, this one is going to be a wuxia game. It's going to be a wuxia western. That's kind of the, like, the core kind of preface for this. And setting-wise, I'm probably going to go down, like, part of me wants to go down kind of for, like, setting-wise, half of me wants to do the dumpling western. Or a Manchurian, or kind of technically, I think the correct term would be, like, a Manchurian western. Which is a genre. Like, there are Manchurian westerns, which, let's see, Western. Mostly the big one that's come out is The Good, the Bad, the Weird, which is literally just a Western movie set in Manchuria during the, I think, 30s. It's exactly the way you think it is. It's all of the same kind of characters that you would expect in that kind of setting there. I've been meaning to watch it, and I totally am going to watch it the second I get done with this, probably. So, I either have this angle, which is kind of like set it in China, but not China at the same time, or we just do Weird West. Weird West / fantasy, kind of like fantastical West. Kind of a more dedicated one, and that would be this setting right here, the Fantastic West. That would be more based off Into the Badlands. Now, I really liked Into the Badlands. This was a stupid fucking show, though. Stupid as hell. Just a dumb, silly show. I adored it, though. I had a lot of fun. Daniel Wu, really sold me on the show when I've been meaning to do a game on this just because I enjoy all the characters and the fact that like the Clippers have like a very natural feeling to them, or how like majority of the characters have like these very sets a very set amount of characteristics and lore behind each one of them, and I'm like, I'm in. Shame the like third season and fourth season happened. Well, actually, the second half of the third season and the fourth season. The fourth season was bad. It was just bad. It was like this weird cult plot that was like, this is stupid. It was stupid. So, for like lore-wise, I could either go down two of these aspects and just kind of play into it. Now, we're also going to have the idea of like dividing, this wuxia/Western elements together, which you can argue is going to be the kind of the crux of this game, with the idea being you're going to have things like your chi energy, like you need chi martial arts. I can actually wait a second. Chi martial arts, and kind of these quote larger than life characters. But you're also going to have to deal with the fact that it's a Western. And because it's a Western, it's going to have things like guns, true grit, and guess what? Larger than life characters. Which is, at the end of the day, a classic Western and a wuxia are literally the same thing. You can almost call a wuxia kind of the Chinese Western in some aspects. Just that idea of being this lone hero on the frontier, and you're doing your best to save the world, save the day, but you're also kind of flawed, and you're an asshole, but you're a good person deep down. Like, stop it if you heard me before. This is when I went over wuxia games. I kind of said the same idea, which is like, this isn't like a uncommon set of tropes or anything. So, let's see. We need to do like firearm rules. Let's do firearm. I can actually spell firearm rules. And one thing that is actually fairly common in wuxia is that weapons are actually dangerous. Weapons are dangerous. You don't think about that. If you really close your eyes, you're like, weapons are dangerous. Well, no fucking shit, Sherlock. What other amazing revelation are you going to have this week? Are you going to finally say that maybe water is wet, or, the sky is blue? It's, in some games, getting hit by a sword isn't actually that much of an issue. Like, let's take the world's most popular role-playing game, D&D. Getting hit by a sword in that game doesn't actually do much. I get hit by the sword, I reduce my health by 1d8. I might have 40 health or something, where it's good. That's not the point. The point is not that you're getting hit by the sword, it's the engagement. Most wuxia games I read, and most kind of wuxia fiction, is that's the idea of like getting hit with a weapon is bad. Undergoing that kind of those martial arts are really scary. Introduce a gun to that, and suddenly things go like from like, oh, I can take a slash to I'm going to take a fucking revolver round to the chest. And these aren't 9mm. These aren't your Glock, which you can unload into somebody and do 0 damage, or a fucking 22. No, these are a revolver. Like, these are, like, this is a, let me see, like a, let's do like a classic. This is a volcanic pistol. Like, Vulcans, they use a volcanic pocket, like, full-size volcanic pistol. It's 41. This is a 41 caliber. You got 2 shots. Oof. You're going to take a punch to your chest, and you're going to die. Let's do like a Winchester rifle. What is a Winchester? what's the classic lever action Winchester use? Oh wow, look everybody, it's a 40 fucking 4. You can technically use 22s, but like most people are gonna be using like 38s, 44s. Like those are not small, and you're going to go down, and you're gonna feel it, kind of thing. Like, how do you make these weapons the same as, you know, how do you make a handgun that fires a 45 on the same caliber as a Jean sword, as a Jean? The basic answer is you don't. The more advanced answer is you're going to have to learn how to wing it, because that's the fun part. So, like martial arts wise, I do have a set of martial arts that I can use. You know, it's, you know, lots of styles. And we're going to also have to put in not necessarily weapons are dangerous, but kind of more of the kind of cultivation bullshit. That's literally just what I'm going to say, this cultivation bullshit. You know, this effect that's like, yeah, here's a chi blast because I'm a fucking wizard, apparently, and I can do that. Now, system-wise, this is where things get a little bit messy. So I can either go down, because I had a game called, it was Last 6 Shots, and the idea was you're going to be using pretty much a D6 for everything. The D6 system would be almost entirely reliant on that constantly building up and reducing down. Like because a lot of the times in like a Western show or Western movie is you're not doing like these long prolonged shootouts or whatever. If you are, it's because like things have clearly escalated and it's not you versus a dozen people. It's you're fighting a bandit group and you are severely outgunned and outnumbered. Like you are in the last situation you want to be. And the idea was being that you're constantly building up and then reducing it down with the up to a cap of 6. You know, 6 shots. I could also go down like this would actually be like a D6 dice pool. I can also go down if I really want to be nutty about it, I could use the D2000 system for this. Because I already have everything for that, and it would just be about adapting it over. Like if I really check out my, let's see, the games I have, D6 dice pool system, that's a D10 variable. Like there's a few things that could work, or I could improvise and make something completely different. I don't know yet. That's half the fun. I like experimenting, and I think that's going to be kind of like this is going to be an experimental game of me seeing what I can do, what I might want to do, because I find that fascinating. And I like trying new things. Which does bring me to, if I go here, the game that was, I'm going to say, the game that wasn't supposed to go anywhere, that suddenly got popular and everyone voted for, because I guess you all just hate me. Well, more accurately, I think the Plutocrats hate me. So, this one is Satan War Snakeskin. Now, originally I pitched Satan War Snakeskin. Let me see. Let's go to November Notocracy. We want to go to responses. I pitched this game as, where is it? Telenovela with stylish men. And this game, the even reason why it's on my list, the reason why it came into even my purview, was the idea of the fashionista RPG. Fashionista is a word. It's just a male equivalent of a fashionista. Hey, that's where it actually came in, to my lexicon. I'm like, all right, kind of a fashionista game. I'm like, all right. And one thing I'm going to kind of be working on it is going to be kind of this telenovela. You know, it's very dramatic, and that's like one of the big things I want to emphasize with this game. And what I'm going to put is like a keynote right here, which is a drama first, a quote, it's a cinematic, cinematic plus drama first. But cinematic doesn't even seem like the correct term for it, because I want it to be like a very low budget television show. Like extremely cheap telenovela. Just, are there dramatic men being dramatic at each other? Yes. And the idea is you're going to be in this show, effectively, the Satan wore snakeskin show, being fashionable men. Now, there is a, let's see, a telenovela. It would be a TRPG, because I know one exists. Passion de la Patience. Yeah, I know they exist, as seen right here. Yeah, this is... They're all fucking telenovela shows. They're great. But as you can see, playbooks. Oh wow, I've never seen what are playbook? Notepad, what are playbooks? Oh, well, they're from my favorite thing ever, powered by the fucking apocalypse, like everything else is in this godforsaken world. Now, this one is playing to it a little bit, what we're going to say a little bit aggressively. Magpie Games. Huh. Interesting. Or Magpie? Your Magpie is publishing you? Yeah. Huh. Cool. I guess you learn something new every day. Yeah, no, it's Magpie Games. Hello there, Magpie Games. How do you do? That reminds me. How's the Avatar game doing? The $9.5 million Avatar game. How you doing? Backer Kid FAQs. Oh boy. You want to update? Wow, we did it. I would never. Why? I would have never thought. The $9 million. Well, apparently this game is out. Passion de la Passion. Are you out? Where are you? Where are you? I need you in my life. Yeah, we're going to be playing up to make this kind of silly. I wonder if there's anything more. Passion de passion, passion. Yeah, this is PBTA fucking passion. God fucking damn it. PBTA always makes me sad. Every single time I see it, I feel sad. So, this is the idea. Like, you are playing this extremely cheap telenovela. And like half of me wants to put in kind of like this quote actor versus character system. Just the idea of like, the helicopter's passing by my house again. The idea of like this, you are playing the actor playing the character, just to make sure that you are never quite comfortable in doing whatever the hell you're doing. And with the Fashionista game, like, half the time it's like, what you wear is important. Hello, phone. Like, what you wear is important. And if, like, and then you have things like, what who you are is also important. But the idea being, This aspect right here is about 10 times more important than who you are. Oh, you want to be, Juan Lopez, billionaire, billionaire. If you walk in with shitty clothes on, are you really a human being? That's not a good sign. I might be going here in a minute. Oh no. Oh no! I want you to feel like you are in like this dramatic reveal, being like, I was always here, Fabio, and like, oh no! With the core idea being like, this is going to be the Fabio RPG. Everyone, it's going to be like those Fabio covers, Fabio book covers. Like, every single person is going to be this character. Like, these are just going to be your characters. You want to be a pirate? You want to be, in harm's way? Love Storm? Gentle Rogue? You're all going to look the exact same. But that... everybody is Fabio. Let me think. Where was that one? Which is going to be like romance novel TTRPG. Where was that one? It was like fucking green text. No, that's not it. Love and Steel, like, there was one that someone posted, and I'm gonna have to hunt for it now, because now I'm curious. I might just adapt that into like a full game. Just the idea that you are like playing this very overly dramatic, just bullshit. Like, half the time I should just make it in Spanish. Is it actually going to be like legible Spanish? Absolutely not. It's let's see, overly dramatic with 9, how do I want to word this? 9, now the other option is that we can also adapt to a modern setting, mind you. We can adapt to a modern setting. A game I wrote called Morons with Pedigrees. Morons with Pedigrees is a game about being fucking stupid. Like, it's a game about just being dumb aristocrats in the 18th century. And just the idea of kind of going against one another to have like this big thing of role-playing, but it's like, and the entire purpose of this game was, how do you make a game with zero combat? And the thing is, this game does have 0 combat rules in it. There are rules for conflicts, but not really like actual legitimate fights. Because that's not the point. The point is that you're all kind of weird. And sometimes the main character is not the actual main character. Like... it's just the main character is just literally a driving force, and they're not played. You're not playing the main character. You're playing everybody around them, because I think that's funny. Like, this is Sir Thomas Cleese. Let's see, Susan Thomas is Donner. About plots, about dumb. It's literally a game about role-playing. Like, half of me was going to be like, do I just adapt this game to it? Because if I can adapt this game, it would be pretty simple. But you either have this, or if I go to Weekend Zolder for Thing, then we go to the Weekend Warrior, or I adapt henshin hero to it. The entire idea of henshin hero being like you're on a television set. That's the joke. Like, you are on this television set of actors and screenwriters, and you have to kind of play to the production pitch, because if you're, you know, here's like this weird production pitch, like, oh yeah, you know, it's like, here's like a study. Like, if you're at a TVY show, you literally can't fight anybody. Like, you cannot throw a punch because that's not nice. You have to, you know, solving conflicts and the power of friendship. But others might like, oh, it's raunchy comedy or like high octane bloodbaths. You need to actually like emphasize that you're in a fighting scene. Like, things are gonna die. Let's see, Tokatsu, Spark Packs, Spandex. And the entire idea of this game was supposed to be kind of goofy and kind of silly in a way. Season 2. So, I have options with this game. How I want to do it. So it's like, and let's see, adaptation from Henshin quote hero, the bootleg of bootleg games, or morons with pedigrees. Or I can just take everything and just do my own thing with it and kind of set it up in its own direction. Because right now, this is what I have to work with Saint Row, War Snakeskin. Like, there isn't actually, like, fuck. I have one bug. His name is Reginald. Reginald is in my apartment, and he just likes to hang out. He's an annoying piece of shit, though. Oh wait, someone is being duped. Let's see, I want to do do they not have it? I feel so. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the ideas I have. Like, I could go in depth with them. Oh, what? How many people post these things? So, overall, the schedule is going to be Necromancers, Kwangja. Actually, no, it'd be Necromancers into Satan Work, Snakeskin, into Kwangja. That's going to be like the basics of it. Will I throw in like another side project, kind of like a Redux? I don't know yet. Half of me wants to put one in between Snakeskin and Kwangja, kind of do my own thing with it. Just give me a little bit of time, but like, what am I thinking of? Like, what do I see here? What do I see with my shaman eyes? Because like, we can be unique or we can be simple, and being simple is the right option sometimes. But half of me is like, no, we gotta be weird. We gotta be super fucking weird because it's a weird concept. It's this weird Fabio telenovela or fashionista game that I get to mash together because somebody wanted it. And I'm gonna have to watch a lot of fucking terrible telenovelas is what I'm gonna have to do. Maybe I can get some inspiration elsewhere. Maybe I can find some ideas by hunting around a little bit. because I haven't really seen a game like this that isn't like PBTA or like a roll a d6. Congratulations, you get a fucking handy or something. Like you don't see that very often, which for good reason. I mean, I'm not gonna say you don't see that for bad reason. It's a weird idea, and weird ideas though are what drives me forward. Speaking about terrible ideas, let's go to itch.io real fast. I just want to check this out. I have not actually checked out itch.io as often as I should, so I just want to take a quick look and see if we have any fun things. Good start. Good start. Let's do new and popular. Jinx. This is just Jinx. You want to play Jinx, A Blaze in the Dark? Oh, sweet fucking Christ almighty. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, no. Farming community built upon an ancient thing. Float sap. They had a storm of silence. The Owl House, the fan-made RPG. You want to play the Owl House, everybody? I know you want to play the Owl House. I think it'll be fun. It's fun. Oh, is this finally out? Yes, give it. Hello, Blood Feud. I've been wanting you forever. Let's take me to the downloads. I'm not going to pay for this. I haven't seen this in a while. I wonder if it, let's see, I want to save that to books that need to get uploaded. Hello, Blood Feud. I've been looking for you for a while now. Hello, darling. So I always love finding weird shit. This is what I live for. Finding odd things that I can now base other things off of. Because I have zero morals. So, I think I'm going to call it there for today. I think we did pretty alright. Like, at the end of the day, like, all you can really do at this stage is, like, I wanted to go over how I'm going to do things, kind of, like, get some basic stuff set up. And once I get the basic stuff set up, we can start formally on Necromancers this Friday. And what formally start this means is that I'm going to go through the entirety of Necronica, wrote down every part, every idea, and pour over that game. I'm going to go into heavy detail on it. It's effectively going to be a curious case, secondary curious case on Necronica, just because I'm going to have to pour over every aspect of it and just note down everything I can find on it. So, with that, I'm going to call it there for today. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will catch you all on Friday. If I'm feeling up to it, I may stream tomorrow, which is going to be the High Fleet game. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I have a few ideas of what I want to do. It's mostly just a game of, do I want to do that? So, thank you all. Godspeed. Good luck. I will catch you all on Friday. And don't forget about Saturday, everybody. Saturday, noon EST, you, me, generic system.